Hey, what's up you guys? Welcome to my channel if you're new and if you're not. Come va? My name is filcofilms, and as a kid I used to spend my summers with my family in my hometown on the Adriatic coast of Italy. Now, although the month of August was pretty rammed with Italians making their way over to the coast, foreign tourists were actually nowhere to be seen, and the beaches remained relatively empty between the months of May and July. Now you might be thinking, well, maybe the beaches just aren't that great, are they? Well, let me show you what the Adriatic coast of Italy actually looks like. So is it the Italian beach and vacationing culture that's too much to handle? What is it? Well, smash that like button to find out. Also, just because I'm wearing a fish t-shirt for this video. Nobody takes a summer at the beach as seriously as Italians do. And that's partly because going to the beach is pretty much like having a full-time job in Italy. I'm not joking, that alarm better be set for 7:30 a.m. in the morning, because if you reach the beach anytime after 9, you can forget parking. Let's start with hurdle number 1, il parcheggio al mare. Do you genuinely believe that Italians drive small cars because we're trying to be quirky and cute? No, dude. Small car equals more parking spots. That's logic. You gotta show up early, beat the crowd, or you have to get creative. Sometimes it's a combination of the two. Obviously, to avoid all this, you can walk, take a bike, catch a bus, which might be your best bet if it's an option and if you're willing to break a sweat instead of stress over parking. Now, when you actually get to the beach, you're likely to encounter something that you haven't encountered anywhere else in the world. Lo stabilimento balneare. Row after row after row of numbered parasols with beach chairs, beach beds, as far as the eye can see. Am I giving you anxiety yet? I told you, it's just like having a brand new job, and you, my friend, have just arrived to your brand new place of work. Except, the best job in the world with the comfiest uniform ever. Now, the beach establishments vary a lot. Some of them are very aimed at families, others are aimed at romantic getaways for couples, and some are very focused on partying. So you want to do your research before you actually pick one. Now, once you made your choice, you need to find the bagnino. He or she is the boss of the establishments, and they can sign you up and pick out a spot for you. Now, these establishments, you can stay the day, you can stay the week, you can even get a seasonal booking. I'm making it sound like it's Disneyland. And most of the time, you'll have a lot of options as well. You can pick your row, you can pick what you want under your parasol, you can have a beach chair, a beach bed, multiple, both. And a lot of the time there's even extra perks that can include towel service, that can include actual service to your parasol for food, for drinks. You can go from high-end luxury to very simple establishments, and obviously the price will vary greatly between the two. But if this is all extremely daunting and you don't have an Italian mamma to walk you through your first day, you can also opt for la spiaggia libera. So in Italy, most beaches will also have a small section designated as spiaggia libera. This section of the beach is the free beach run by the council, where you can bring your own towel, your own parasol, your own chairs, whatever you want, set yourself down, and it's gonna be free of charge. A lot of the time, these beaches also allow dogs, for example, which sometimes aren't allowed in the establishment. So if you have a pet, that's probably the best option for you. So if you were successful right about now, you should be laying under your parasol in the blazing sun. But wait, don't get too comfortable yet, because around this time, mid-morning, is a perfect time for il bagno. Now, don't get me wrong, Italy's coasts are not the best option if you're expecting big waves, surfing, cold water. Not that you would want that, especially on the Adriatic side. It's a tiny little stretch of sea. The water over there, it's pretty warm, pretty flat. And on this specific coast, most areas you can walk about 100 meters before getting to water that's deep enough for you to swim in. Honestly, you walk like 20 meters, the water's to your knees. It's kind of weird. I personally like this style of sea and beach experience because it just feels safe. There's no currents to worry about, no sea creatures that are particularly harmful apart from a jellyfish here or two, but whatever. And the water is warm enough to sit in for hours. And if your establishment offers it, you can even like grab a canoe. They offer this kind of stuff where you can have more fun in the water and enjoy more activities. And once you're done with that, pop out, dry off in the sun, best feeling in the world. But congrats, you have now made it to my favorite part of the Italian beach day, il pranzo. Now this is special because il pranzo al mare is an opportunity for you to experience Italian food and Italian eating in a way that a lot of foreigners haven't had the chance to. It is Italian dining in its purest form, and you'll find you have a lot of options because eating at the beach for Italians is a very popular thing to do. You'll have a lot of pizzerie, ristoranti sul mare, bar, aperitivi, piadinerie. I mean, you could eat something different every single day for a month. But ultimately, you'll have two options. If you opt for takeout and eat something at your spot on the beach, then I'd suggest something easy, like pizza, like a piadina, like a panino, something that won't cause a mess. I wouldn't recommend pasta in this situation. Something you can easily eat with your hands that doesn't get too messy. Otherwise, you can actually head over and eat at your local food spot. Now, if you do this, I'd recommend throwing on a t-shirt and some flip-flops just because it's respectful. Most people do it, not all of them, it's not compulsory, but it's a nice thing to do. Although some places don't mind customers showing up barefoot, shirtless, whatever, but you know, you be the judge of that. If you want more on restaurant etiquette in Italy, I've got a video that I've actually done on that up here. Now, food is relatively cheap on the Adriatic coast. It's not that popular among tourists, so a pizza will cost you anywhere between like 4 and 8 euros. A piadina will cost you about the same as that, and a panino or an insalata will cost you even less. Now, keeping this up daily obviously will add up and end up quite expensive, so I suggest you alternate between the two. You bring some food from home and you eat out some days. Now, just to warn you, eating will get a little more expensive when you hit those more secluded beaches because obviously there's not as much competition, not as many places to eat, so prices will hike up. Just so you keep that in mind, you could end up spending from 8 to 10 euros a meal to like 25, 30 if you go to a more luxurious beach. I'm thinking like Porto Novo. After lunch, full cultural immersion. I'll give you 4 choices: caffè, gelato, granita, or sorbetto. Feel free to mix and match. More importantly though, it is quite common to have dessert and coffee somewhere other than where you had lunch. Actually, go find the gelateria. You can thank me later. Mostly it's probably going to be a bit better over there and possibly even cheaper. Gelateria for gelato, bar for caffè, you get the gist. Now after lunch, you gotta drag yourself back to your little spot on the beach because you're about to be hit with a bad case of abbiocco. It's kind of like a food coma, although I'd argue less intense because the average Italian is hit by this at least once a day, while a food coma is more of a common occurrence like when you actually have a disproportionate amount to eat, like at Christmas. It's that feeling that for most of us leads to il pisolino pomeridiano, the afternoon nap. Again, it's one of the best times of the day. Grab some headphones, put on some summer vibes, doze off, but actually wait, reapply sunscreen first. Because falling asleep after lunch generally in Italy is all too common. And that is exactly why at this time of day, l'ustionato is a very common sight. And that is the sunburned folks. Yeah, so these are the guys that haven't reapplied a coat of sunscreen since this morning or just completely forgot about it. Legit gone purple by this time of day. Now you don't want to be that guy. And if you're particularly sensitive to the sun, be careful with this. Since I moved to England, I swear I became that guy and I get burned so much more easily than I used to. It did take me a couple of painful evenings to figure that out. Consider yourself warned. We're nearing the end of the day now, and if you're on these beautiful beaches next to Monte Conero, you're probably in the shade at this point because the sun is setting behind you, just behind the mountain. It's time to head back home. A casa. You'll want to shower, you'll want to change, get that sunscreen and salt off of your skin, get ready for the evening. Depending on what you're into, you're probably gonna end up hitting the local town, probably having a nice candlelit dinner, or perhaps head back to the beach at sundown and discover a whole other side to the Italian summer. I hope y'all learned a thing or two in this video. If there's anything I didn't cover for you, just leave it for me in the comments and I'll get back to you when I can. Smash that like button if I did help you out in any way, and subscribe to my channel and hit the notification bell for more videos like this in the future. You'll know whenever I post. I post every Sunday, but you can catch me on Instagram and Twitter for when I'm not posting on YouTube. Thank you so much for watching this video. My name is filcofilms and I will catch you next time. Ciao.